I hate dating. Like, I genuinely hate it. Yes, I like being in love. Yes, I like meeting new people. But going through the whole, oh, where did you grow up? What do you want to do with your life? And explaining myself to people over and over and over again drives me insane. Like, you don't know how badly I just want to meet someone and love them for the rest of my life. Someone who just hits all my checkboxes. Loving, kind, ambitious, courageous, strong, knows what they're doing with their life, has goals, has a career in mind, knows what they want from a relationship, generous, humble, teachable, compassionate, hardworking, perseverant. So if someone can create a dating app where those guys are on it, sign me up.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Gentlemen and gents, I got me a wadded up bundle of cash that totals up to 43 intergalactic space bucks that says this broad has a degree in marketing. And despite all of her quote-unquote education, she fails to realize that when she's going out on a date, she must market herself to a man just so much as he is marketing himself to her. And for the most part, a self-respecting man's criteria for a woman is relatively simple and somewhat reasonable. Be feminine, friendly, and loyal. However, this broad's list is not only unreasonable, it's downright insulting. You really shouldn't call men teachable, lady. We're grown adults, not house pets. And you have a major disconnect with other people, thus proving that your marketing degree with your $150,000 worth of debt just proves that your education was a complete and utter waste. And when you also add that you like to display your meltdowns on the internet, and assuming people actually care, you've already taught men a valuable lesson. And that lesson? Stay the hell away from you.
Wish I could stay, but I got a thing. Bye.
I've ever noticed how women have way more competition than men in dating. Competition women have in dating is crazy. I swear I'm always seeing 10 out of 10 women drop dead gorgeous smoke shows just running around, bodies, whatever, all the time. I see them all the time. Whereas men, I rarely see a good-looking, well-dressed, fit man. Maybe that's because I'm spoken for and I'm not looking, but no. And I'm also not saying that you have to be all those things to be attractive.
Liar! 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 All right, let's go ahead and try to unpack this gibberish and figure out what this broad is saying here. She's saying that the world is dominated by absolutely gorgeous bombshells and that the majority of men are subhuman bridge trolls. Now, she's trying to make a pathetic attempt to save face by saying that you don't need to have the idealized male qualities that she listed in order to be considered a desirable man, which makes no sense since she literally said it herself that you have to be fit, well-dressed, and handsome. And under your own rationale, woman, if men don't need to fit these qualities that you set in order to be considered desirable, there would be more attractive men out there, not less. So in other words, you're referring to the lack of chads on the open dating market, and in this regard, you are half right. Chads represent roughly 5% of the men on the dating market, and women are tripping over themselves and failing hilariously to try to lock this man down.
I'm just saying, you rarely see good-looking men, whereas when you see women everywhere, they're all gorgeous. Everywhere. You walk into a grocery store, restaurant, park, concert, or even gym, and there's gorgeous women everywhere there. So dating as a woman is kind of hard because there's drop-dead gorgeous girls everywhere. Especially if you have a hot man, because all these other gorgeous girls are also checking him out. Like, I don't think guys will ever understand this. Do they ever have to worry about that?
Nope. That would be a waste of time.
No, not really. We don't have to worry about that particular issue, mainly because you and your walking brood of unintellectual makeup addicts have made it your life's mission to either ignore us or treat us like that one dude from RoboCop who crashed his car into the vat of toxic waste. God, we need more movies like that. And because of your undesirable attitude, most of us have just passed the point of caring. We don't bother entering into the dating game because what's the freaking point? Look at our options. We've got vain broads who loathe us, single mothers, desperate women in their 30s looking to become single mothers, and bitter old hags. And that's if we were lucky to even get a response from one of these chicks back when we were naive enough to use those stupid dating apps in the first place. So now we've just checked out. We're sitting back and watching you make a jackass out of yourself while you fawn over Chad, and then laugh our asses off when Chad makes it clear that your standards are completely meaningless as you fail to recognize that man holds all of the leverage when it comes to long-term relationships. It's an endless source of hilarity for us.
And maybe this is all circumstantial, but it's hard when you live somewhere where the weather is always nice and there's gorgeous girls walking around. But if you have a good man that you can trust, that he's not checking out every girl in front of you, that's amazing. Because when a guy checks out another girl in front of you, that hurts your ego so bad. And you want to be like, okay, I'll do it to him and check out another guy. But there are like no attractive guys anywhere.
Oh, really?
So now we're getting to the meat and potatoes of the issue here. It's not that men have it easier when it comes to dating, it's that Captain Chad America has it easier, and that's because there are precious few of him and too many of you. And when that man is in demand, he can look at whatever piece of tail he wants, and there isn't a damn thing you can do about it, woman. He will always have options, and if you want this man, you will be forced to accept that he is not exclusively yours. You're just filling a temporary position in his harem, and that is the best you can hope for. The average dude, he's loyal almost to a fault, and he wouldn't dream of looking at another woman, let alone cheating, but you don't care about that. If you found yourself with a good-hearted average dude, you'd resent him so hard that you would be begging for him to look at another woman for 2 seconds just so you can get back at him by oogling at the good captain for a couple of minutes. But the joke's on you, sister. Chad ain't looking back at you. There's nothing worth looking at.
Not only that, girls don't lust over guys like men lust over women. They see an attractive woman and they instantly want to sleep with her. Women lust over men after they know your personality or your character. Like, don't get me wrong, we can acknowledge a good-looking man and leave it at that. Whereas with men, it's a little different. And obviously, I'm not saying every guy or girl is like this, because I'm sure there are people who are like this. All I'm saying is at the end of the day, it's a lot harder for women to date than men. But hopefully, you have a good man and you don't even have to worry about this.
Hey lady, just because you base your knowledge on men on TikTok videos and romantic comedies doesn't mean that you know anything. All you have to do is look at the numbers. The majority of men out there will go years without any form of bedroom intimacy, and that's if they get anything at all. Hell, if a man gets a legitimate hug from a woman, that's typically the highlight of his year. So under that logic, how could it be that men just care about bedroom antics when it's the women who control access to that particular aspect of life? Especially when you consider that a modern woman will cheat based on some of the most absurd reasons known to man, up to and including boredom, petty revenge, feeling unhappy, and lest we forget, there's always an exception if the man is a celebrity. And do you know what all of these things have in common? They don't require you to have an emotional connection in order for you to take off your clothes and pile them up on the bathroom floor. So spare me your petty attempt to shame men for not being good enough for your kind, because the way I see it, you're not good enough for us. And that's your problem.
Man, you are one pathetic loser. No offense.
Happy Monday, everybody! So I hope you're ready for a super fun week. I'm started off productive, done gym, did some legs. I don't know why I'm doing weird things with my arms, but it just kind of feels good. Yeah, and now I'm back doing some filming. What else have I got on today? I got a live show at 4. I got a golf lesson at 1. And hopefully I'm going to be planning a trip away for next week.
And by the way, you know, when you're telling these little stories, here's a good idea. Have a point. It makes it so much more interesting for the listener.
Man, who would have thought that main character syndrome could be so uninteresting? Imagine living a life where your value is based solely on the weight of your boobage, and what do you do with it? You go on camera and talk about your schedule as if that's the most interesting thing that could ever happen to you. I mean, personally, I think it'd be more interesting if you brought up the Cliff's Notes on some insurance seminar or a meeting you had with your tax preparer, but no, you're just gonna drift off aimlessly as you talk about the things you have scheduled for your day as if that's the most interesting thing that people actually care about. I mean, it would be one thing if your schedule is even remotely interesting, but it's not. It's just gym, golf, and recording yourself. We don't need any more indication, woman. We already know your life is going nowhere.
You're boring! You're fucking dull! You have nothing to say! You are a one-hived mind twat waffle!
A high body count for women is not a good thing. That's what they say, right? High body count, not good, not good. I'm not agreeing or disagreeing. But I will tell you one thing. Why are you telling them your body count? Are you in an interrogation? What's happening? What's happening that you're so liberal with your life and your past? Have some mystery, have some mystique, baby.
You don't know what words mean, do you?
There is a fine line between mystique and straight up lying, you irresponsible little harpy. If a modern woman has confessed her true body count to a man, then trust me, sister, it wasn't given freely. It's the modern woman's paradox. A body count is nothing to be ashamed of because the past doesn't matter, but at the same time, being asked if she slept with more men than a high-ranking government official is still considered inappropriate. And if a man is going to open his life to a woman, then he has every right to know about her sexual history before doing so. But let's be real here. Even if the man asks and she answers, odds are she's going to lie about the true numbers of sexual partners that she's actually had in the past. And the truth will come out eventually. Modern women have rarely ever been forced to take accountability for their lies, and they refuse to accept the consequences for those lies. So to them, lying is no big deal. And they fail to realize that it's one of the most disloyal things that she can do to a man, and that has catastrophic consequences.
If you choose to go on the train of sleeping with every man, and then you regret it, just don't tell anyone. You don't have to. No one will know. Okay? Now, probably a better solution is to be more decisive with who you sleep with. I agree with that. If you watch my channel, you will know that. Because we don't let anybody in. We don't just let anybody in. I'm very big on that. But if we've made that mistake, who's asking you? Who is asking you? You don't always have to be honest.
Great plan.
Thank you.
He likes your plan, Chief.
God, woman, if I were to say that your brain was made of a slurry of maggots and cottage cheese, that would be an insult to the intellect of your garden variety maggot. You have just disregarded one of the most sacred virtues held by a self-respecting man, and that is the virtue of trust. Now, you're just an empty meat bag that's devoid of any humanity or purpose, so I don't expect you to grasp this. A man's trust means absolutely nothing to you. It is a meaningless gesture because you can't buy pretty things with it. But that man's trust is the foundation of any relationship, and he doesn't give that to just anybody. And if you earn that trust under false pretenses, you've already betrayed him, and that man deserves better. And by that point, once he finds out your true body count, the pain comes from the fact that you lied to him repeatedly. The number itself is just salt in the wounds at that point. And that's the exact reason why men aren't willing to put themselves on the line anymore. Trust is sacred, and you just throw it away. And men deserve to be treated better than the way you treated your hollowed out gunk basin of eternal misery. And that's gonna do it for today's video, gentlemen and gents. And as always, if you find that my particular brand of comedy is bringing you to the brink of laughter, then why don't you scroll on down and click that like and subscribe button. Ring the notification bell, leave a couple of comments, share this video so we can give the good old-fashioned middle finger to the YouTube algorithm. And I am not ashamed to say that RoboCop 2 is not nearly as bad as people think. You can sue me. My lawyer is extremely bored. Thank you so much for checking out the new video, and until next time, peace out, homies.